Hey guys, Sterling with the Trails and Trucks team here, and today I've got a really quick video for you. Behind me is our 2022 Jeep Gladiator. This is our camera truck that we've been using the past year to follow along all of our other builds and projects up in the mountains and get cool content. Alright, so first I wanted to talk about these rock rails here. This is actually an overland trim model of the Gladiator, which meant that it came with the plastic side steps from the factory. And those were really great out on the trail just because we really liked having that extra step to get in and out of the vehicle. It made it really easy when you had cameras and camera cases and lots of people, especially on the trail. The problem was though, is we really started to bang those up and eventually broke them just because they weren't armor at all. They were just these plastic, step slides. So we thought, okay, we need a little bit more armor on these trails, hence the rock rails. We went and picked these up off of Facebook. They're just takeoffs off of a Rubicon model, which have been great for wheeling, but we really miss having that step because now with just the rock rails, you kind of have to jump in and out of the vehicle and it's not so wieldy when you've got cameras and lots of people. So that's where we thought the rock sliders would come in handy. So I wanted to run through the install process for you, a couple of thoughts and opinions, and overall kind of get our impressions on the product. So let's get started. All right, so we were pleasantly surprised to find out that the install process for these is actually drop dead easy. There's just 3 body mount bolts that are actually reusing the factory hardware that these bolt into. You only need to keep track of 2 things. The first is that the longest of the 3 arms goes to the rear. So this one here is our driver's side. It's gonna go directly here. The other thing is that you're gonna need an 18 mil socket to get those bolts on and off. Other than that, that's all you need. So step 1 is we just got to remove the 3 bolts from the frame mounts. All right, so one of the things we ran into right off the bat is, at the very least, the front and rear frame bolts are really in there. So we had to take a breaker bar to them to loosen them up. They were really bound up, and then after that, took our impact to it, got them out, fortunately. The last thing you'll wanna make sure to be aware of is to get the bolt through the bushing, you might have to give it some downward pressure with your fingers. You have to grab on the washer, and then as you are using the impact to pull it out, you also wanna pull down on the bolt. All right, so now that we finally got the bolts off, we noticed that the factory definitely used some thread locker on here, so we're gonna add our own on the way back up. But the install is pretty simple. This just is gonna sit flush with the body, and then with the washer, boom, easy. All right, last thing you will need though is a friend. Okay. So now that we have both of our rock sliders in place, the last thing we have to do is torque these down to spec. So we get to use the OEM torque numbers for this, which is 80 foot-pounds for all 3 bolts. All right, drive we go. All right, guys, so it is complete. These are our Ace Engineering rock sliders. So first impressions, I'm really happy with the look and the fit and finish of these. We were definitely looking for something subtle. Again, this is a camera truck, so we wanted something that gave us just a little bit of extra protection without being too dramatic. And these are great at that. The install is dead simple, just the 3 bolts. And we get our step back. Like I was saying, makes it really easy to get in and out of the vehicle, which is huge. So I'm really excited. They're also pretty lightweight, which is cool. Keeps the weight down on a vehicle like this. Overall, super happy. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And in camera truck fashion, let's cue the B-roll.